In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Well, we've moved into a new chapel here, and I think it's a better design, a better layout than the old one. And so obviously it's not a permanent chapel; it's a temporary chapel. But it is always good to make it more beautiful, make it more glorious for the greater glory of God. And so those who are fixing the place up, and many improvements have already been made, I think. We want to continue and always try to make it a little bit nicer for the Mass. Today we again celebrate a feast of a martyr, St. Peter of Alexandria, and we see these martyrs again are examples for us that today we're not asked at the moment to shed our blood for our Lord. Maybe that day might come. But it hasn't come yet, and maybe it won't be in the next generation, not our generation, we don't know. But certainly it will come again. We know that in many places in the world, the Christians, the Catholics are being martyred. There's being martyred in Nigeria. Many Catholics have been murdered and martyred in Nigeria, and now in Iraq and these other countries where before they used to live at peace with the Mohammedans. Now the Mohammedans are trying to wipe them out and destroy them. So in parts of the world there are martyrs. There's no martyrs here yet, as far as I know, but this might come. But we have to say, well, how can we remain faithful in this time when there's so much confusion in the church? And the way to remain faithful is, first of all, to be faithful to our prayers, be faithful to our rosary. Saying we need our rosary, we need the enlightenment of grace, we need God to give us the grace to discern, we need the wisdom to know how to follow our Lord and in what direction to follow Him. And we also need sacrifice. That's by sacrifice that is something that is required of us, that we do penance. Our Lady said, many sinners don't convert because no one does praise and does penance for them. And this applies in our own families and in the world at large, in the whole community. We have to say, well, why do people not convert? Well, maybe it's because we're not praying and doing penance for them. And so this is required for conversions. Our Lady herself told us this. And we want to also say, what else do we need to do besides prayer and penance? Well, we need to detach our hearts from the things of the world. The world tries to get a hold of us and make it love us. And we have to say, no, this is not what I'm going to love. I'm not going to become a worldling, because if we become worldlings, then we are no longer living as children of God. We have to live as children of God, and remember always that we have to keep that hope that our home is in heaven, and that we're going to go there and be happy there forever. So that this is just a temporary phase in our existence. This life on earth is only temporary. It's a prime time for us to prove ourselves, that we have to prove and that yes, we do love God above all things, and that yes, we do want to spend eternity with Him. That's what we have to tell our Lord. Yes, I want to be with you for eternity, and I don't want to take any of these things of the world with me. That's why all these problems in the world, all these social problems, all these economic problems, all these injustices, we know that they're all going to pass. They're all going to pass like they passed in the civilizations that came before us. Well, all those they passed, and our civilization will also pass on. But and our problems with it. But we want to say, well, we want to do what we can. Yes, we have to do what we can in the world, but we have to realize that it's up to God to give the increase. We plant, we water, but God gives that increase, and that increase, that planting, that water requires prayer and sacrifice from us. So if we can be faithful, and maybe one day we too will be martyrs. And it's not easy to be a martyr. It's not easy to be suffering indignity, suffering cruelty, suffering physically violence. Suffering violence, that's not easy. But maybe one day we will be martyrs like the martyrs we're celebrating in the church. And so let's ask our Lord that if He calls us to that we will remain faithful, that we will not desert Him, that we will not abandon Him, but that we'll have confidence that He'll always give us the grace to suffer whatever crosses are sent to us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dominus vobiscum. Oremos.